Yep. Just because we want to be sure that we're not selling it as a vehicle.
Right.
All right. Then. You were at 95, Rich.
95.
From Margaret.
No,
All yours.
Okay, then I'll let it go. It's just something rolled off my tongue a little bit strangely. How about 107 or before 107?
98.
All right, 98.
There were some condos, remove the apostrophe.
Yep.
And I have a one, would you say 107?
Yeah.
I got a 104,
Okay.
so very minor. It should be removed, and they have an extra 2 in there, I believe. Also used to determine the tap fees.
Okay.
All right, 107, I thought of, after the word assessment, a period, capital, then when ownership is transferred, comma, and then, when the ownership was transferred, comma, and then eliminate this avenue, and when when a new building is constructed or when the permit is issued. I mean, do you have anything on that?
No, I was fine. Yours.
Okay. 114. Instead of provided information, it should be received information via.
Yep.
127.
118,
Okay, what do you got?
new sign sits.
Oh, yeah, I got that one too.
Sit. Yeah, and I'm at 122.
What do you got there?
Remove the USFS before Mark's name.
127, on your, I knocked out a letter before to get our tax.
Attachments.
Yeah, yeah, and also 126 should be state. The state gave the town.
Yes. Yes, it wasn't a stick of Thai boiled meat.
No.
All right, how about 140, 141?
Means more work this year than what has been done thus far.
Mark expressed, I would put a concern
Right.
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah. That they are-
unable to do more work this year.
but they seem to be
They
at it
are
every day.
at it every day.
Yeah, good for them.
They're in there at, I think, they're getting free coffee from Waterville Valley Mercantile.
Yep, and they got a
Yeah.
space upstairs.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? They got the old, Blue Moon.
Uh-huh.
The staging area. Right, that was it for me. Anything else on that, Rich? Margaret, anything from you?
Nothing else.
All right, then, do we have a motion to approve the minutes as,
So
amended?
moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, financial. Mark,
Okay, I gave you an update, and it wasn't on the numbers for the month of December. It was in the far left column, the approved budget was incorrect in the revenue area.
you
So
brought it down?
we updated all those numbers to what the numbers that were used for the tax rate setting. We still have the pre-tax rate numbers in there. So it changed the percentages a little bit, but it's not a,
All right, so you
Major
moved
issue.
miscellaneous revenues down?
yeah, we made there were several changes, Mike, that,
All right, let's go over them quickly.
um,
All right, when I look at it, let's just go. Briefly,
let me just pull it.
I see rec's the same,
Yep.
water's the same, wastewater's the same,
The solid waste
Solid waste
change
fees.
went down.
went
And-
down.
Yep.
That's self-explanatory. Recycling is the same. Payment in lieu of taxes went down a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, it went up a little bit.
And then miscellaneous revenues went down.
Yeah, miscellaneous.
Everything else should be,
Okay. And a reason why the miscellaneous changed, just to refresh us.
we lowered our estimate at the
Based
tax
on
rate
what?
setting based on our miscellaneous revenue at the time was not collected. So we reduced it by $7,000.
Well, what would that 7,000 have been? Just where we had.
just any non-classified revenue. It's just fees, over-the-counter fees and that
Okay,
sort
gotcha.
of thing. Where they were tracking way behind.
Any
So
reason why?
Nothing that we actually came back up after the tax rate setting, so we're gonna probably exceed revenues and miscellaneous by a few thousand.
All right.
Other than that, we're tracking on our year-to-date totals. And we don't have any departments other than the ones that we've discussed before with IT and those sorts of things. But bottom line of the budget, we're tracking about $75,000 to the good on the expenditure side.
Okay, and is that because we haven't ordered some things, like I know some of Jim's?
No, this is including all of the end of year orders.
One of the big ones we usually run across are water treatment chemicals.
No, those are all
set.
purchased. Yeah.
All right, great. Any questions, Rich?
You're good.
Margaret?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we'll move on. Calendar review.
Sorry. Go ahead.
We're meeting the 11th and 12th.
Well, I made an error. Can we meet the 12th and 13th, the Tuesday and Wednesday, instead of Monday and Tuesday?
Okay.
And then use Thursday as a backup? Does that work for your schedules? Are you
I'll be
good?
tied up in the morning on Wednesday. I gotta run all the way down to Concord for a medical.
Okay.
I'm free the afternoon
Can we
though,
do the afternoon on Wednesday?
free the afternoon on Wednesday, and,
You mean the 11th and 12th, right?
11th and 12th.
Tuesday
Oh,
and
Tuesday and
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
oh, sorry,
11 and
Tuesday
12.
and Wednesday.
That's what you have on here is 11 and 12.
Right, but
Okay,
it
sorry.
says
I'm
Monday and
confused.
Tuesday,
Oh,
not
okay.
What,
Tuesday. and
what
Wednesday.
time are you looking at for the 11th? I'm tied up in the afternoon.
Morning is actually better for us.
9 o'clock on the 11th work
9
Perfect.
o'clock on the 11th works.
and 9 o'clock on the 12th?
I can't
No,
do
I'm sorry.
He can't do the
Wednesday
morning.
morning.
Can you do Wednesday afternoon?
I think I can.
Well, there's a
I know.
town, the town core meeting Wednesday afternoon.
At 1 o'clock,
All right.
1:30.
Yeah.
Can we do after that?
I can.
I
Margaret?
can.
You can?
Mhm.
What time would you like to do it?
Start at 2:30. We'll be done by 2:30 with town hall.
Okay.
So-
So get rid of town at 9.
So 9 o'clock on the 11th?
9 o'clock on the 11th and 2:30 on Wednesday on the 12th.
Well,
I think I should be.
do you want to go at 3 o'clock, Rich? Does that give you more time?
I'm all the way over in Lebanon, but I should be back by 2:30, but if we want to make it 3.
Make
Why
it
don't we go
3?
3 so you don't get
Yeah.
rushed? Is that okay with you, Mark?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't want the urologist to rush.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Yes. There's certain doctors you don't want to rush.
Yeah, and I'm the one you're concerned about.
So I appreciate it. 9 o'clock the 11th, 3 o'clock the 12th.
Okay, good, so I got that 1:30. Great. Good. 11th and 12th, so,
11th and 12th.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
okay.
Very good, thank you.
All right, and the planning board, that is a public hearing, correct?
That is a
It
public
is.
hearing on the proposed zoning amendments.
Mark, you said something about wanting to use the 13th as a possible review date.
Well, if we ran over in anything, I think we can get done in 2 days, but we would have Thursday afternoon
Can
available.
we do that in the afternoon?
You would have, I would
It
prefer.
would have to be because of the planning board, because they will probably take a lot of the morning.
Yeah, that would be, I couldn't do it, but I think by that time.
Yeah,
it would
we
be.
should do that.
It's Martin's birthday.
Yeah,
And,
there's different plans off of that. though.
On the 19th is when we have the next selectmen's meeting.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna miss that. Is there something special about that?
Well, we have the public hearing on
The water and sewer fees.
water and sewer fees and the public hearing
You like that
on,
whole week?
Mhm.
I'm going to.
Are you gone the whole week?
No, I'm around on the 17th and 18th.
You're,
I can't, I'll be gone from the 16th to the 22nd. But in two,
well, Mike
16th to
can't
22nd.
vote.
Yeah.
Mike can't vote
I'll have to get back on the phone.
on one of the items. One of the items is a public hearing on signing the purchase and sale.
Oh, that's right, that's what I had in the back of my
Yes.
mind. Because when we shifted things around, it kind of,
Okay.
What about the 26th? Are you back?
oh yeah,
You're back on the 26th?
I'm back on the 22nd.
Around the
I
26th?
don't know yet, but plan on it, you can do without me if I
Okay.
can't be that.
I can do the 26th.
Well, you can be here, you just have to. sit.
Yeah, but I might not be in town.
Oh, you
It's the
might,
day after Christmas.
right, yeah,
What about
26. I'm here,
What day is the 26th?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, middle of the week.
And I will be back in Boston on the 28th. I should be here the 26th, so let's go with the 26th.
So the 26th will be two public hearings, one on the water and sewer and one on the land purchase.
Also not a bad idea because we'll have a lot of out of town.
Yes.
That may want
That'll be good. We'll put a special notice on the
to.
website.
And what time are you looking at?
26th at 3?
3.
Yeah.
Or do we want to make it at 4 to give people who are skiing the opportunity to be here? I'm good at 4.
I'm fine with that.
26th. Thank you.
As long as I don't lose my phone, I'm all set.
Right, yeah.
I'm losing gloves, not my phone. 111.
One glove at a time.
Probably it's the same hand, right?
All right, great. So we're all set with the calendar review. Department heads. Chris?
Hello. Since the last time we met, the cold turkey plunge went very well.
Yeah, really.
We had to make a few adjustments as to the location, but it worked out fine. It was fantastic.
I think that was a better location.
I liked it better.
Yeah.
It was better for our operations. And I don't know about everybody else, but I liked it. It may be a problem if there's no snow though, because it could get muddy and dirty. It's not, it's kind of a muddy bottom. If there's plenty of snow, it's a great spot. EMT class starts tonight.
How many signed up?
We have 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
All town employees or?
No, there's 2 from Canton that are coming up.
Yeah.
And then there's Pat Pear, my son Drew, and I forget who the other 2 are. But they're all local. They're all very local, so that's good.
And are we charging people for this?
Case by case.
Yep.
We can, the only thing that we actually have to pay for is Jeff's time.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna look at that, see.
And we'll waive the fees for those who are gonna work here,
Right,
maybe?
Yeah.
And those who are gonna be maybe co-responders from the
correct,
surrounding towns.
correct. Yeah, if we get, I don't believe there's anybody, but if, say someone from New Hampton wanted to come up and
Right.
take the class, they would be charged, but anybody that can contribute.
Right.
So, it's good. I'm sure everyone's heard that the Crane Clinic is not going to be operating this year. No doctors, spears out, so going forward, we're gonna have to decide what type of support we're gonna give the clinic.
Like, is there gonna be someone in the building at all, or are they counting on you guys, or?
Well, that's what we gotta iron out. They probably will have somebody in the building as their staff allows. However, what we did last year was we have per diem people on when the mountain's busy. We have an extra person on. So instead of sitting here, they can sit up
They sit up there with the ambulance.
But we would pay,
Or-
for that?
Yeah, but they're here anyways,
Okay,
so put them up where the action is and it can actually, they can actually triage and say, yes, you need an ambulance or no, you don't need an ambulance.
Does that put us under any kind of liability? No.
No, it's
Being
the
there
same.
Self-directed?
No, as long as we're not doing mountain functions like having them sign mountain paperwork and we're not doing mountain reports and things like that, as long as we keep it to our
And do you think,
policies.
do you think a result of this would decrease our revenues from ambulances or
No, I think it will
increase?
increase.
Really?
It won't be noticeable, but it won't hurt it, because a lot of times the doctors there will handle an emergent case such as a fracture or a shoulder dislocation, which, just examples, are things that we would transport now. A doctor isn't there, so we get those extra transports.
At least it's a warm place if they have to wait.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We're working.
Basically Spear was losing
Yeah.
$60,000 a year.
Oh, yeah, you would know that number. I didn't know that number. I know it was.
Tom's
pretty
told me
significant.
about this.
We're working on just getting some fresh per diem staff in here so that the EMT class will help with that. We've had a few leave, just moving on. Jim Davis retired last summer and we never really replaced them, so we're working on getting some fresh people in.
Do you think maybe a good suggested trade-off with a mountain, because of us having to have a greater direct interaction with the mountain, would be we're trying to add EMTs, could one of the benefits be passes for these per diem people?
I mean, we could
Might
approach
be-
that. I mean, we
might
do
be some-
compensate them.
Yeah, but it might be that little extra edge instead of what, do I want to work at this place or
Right,
I
yeah,
like the water,
yeah.
I get a ski pass. for you.
Yeah. We can look into that. I can get the feedback from the people working. A lot of the people that work for us don't ski.
Yeah.
But
Well, you know, they might
That's
want it
a
for their
good-
kids or their
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
You know, anything to increase our ability to attract people.
it's a good idea. The last few weeks, we've had some pretty significant calls. We've noticed that there's a lot of the larger community city problems are starting to surface in town as far as drugs and more drugs. So that's starting to impact us for EMS.
Really?
Yeah.
Does those roots go back to a building we're familiar with?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's just in general, we're
Yeah.
seeing it. And I don't know, there's a lot of lower rental unit, lower price rentals that are in town that are bringing people in that need more services than normal. I don't know how.
Yeah, maybe we can
Um,
talk about that in non-public.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I don't know if it's anything that needs any action, but it's just something that people should know about.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to
Um,
see.
And we had a cardiac arrest at the mountain last Thursday, a week ago today. We used the Lucas. Did you get my, was that you I was texting? Oh, I texted somebody. I'll read the text that I sent them out. Somebody said, "Who is this?" So you need to.
Oh, yeah.
So you
Yes,
did
I
get that?
Yes, I did
Okay,
get that.
all
I
right.
did get that. I didn't know who it was
Well,
from
you-
because it was just the number.
Oh, well, who is this? And I typed back Chris H. and I didn't hear anything. I'm like, oh, I better just be quiet. But know that the outcome wasn't what we desired. The gentleman passed away, but that machine really gave him a good chance, and it gave us a lot of hope when we were working. And the doctors were impressed with the feedback we were getting from the machine.
Did we get him to the hospital all
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we were working on him. I mean,
Yeah.
he wasn't
Older
pronounced
person,
deceased
younger-
until after he got there, so.
Yeah.
Older person, younger person?
72-year-old male.
Right.
Yeah. So, skier, a visitor, wasn't anybody local.
Yeah, while skiing or in the lodge or?
While unloading.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but everybody was right there. The mountain did a fantastic job. Katie Smith was the first one there. Did everything good, but it went very smoothly. I know it sounds kind of, but it went very well as far as the procedures. So that's all I got.
Great, thank you, Chris. Mark, anything else?
No.
Rich, have a good, okay, good. Brooke, any
Brooke
second
is on.
report or?
No,
the next meeting?
She's, yeah, you'll have to wait till the
Okay.
next one.
All right, Jim. It's your meeting.
Road's good, I think, and equipment's all fine, so we're just.
New truck here yet?
No, new truck we've now been updated, it probably won't be here until after the first.
Or what?
Kind of like the sign.
First,
We're gonna get to that next.
we are quite perplexed, so,
Do we have any recourse?
not that I am aware of. So, just,
All the other equipment working well?
guys are good, so, other than the salt budget,
Yeah, it's really ice
Yeah.
up a lot.
but, I mean, we've had, well, let's see, haven't really done a full count, but, it's probably been 14 times we've plowed and treated, so far this month.
It's crazy.
We-
It
I-
is.
Great.
And last year, we didn't do anything until Christmas.
3 guys with 71 hours.
And the ice is just, my garage doors are all frozen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just, it's kind of like last year, because we had some significant snowfall around Christmas, and then it turned to rain.
Yeah.
And then it went right into the deep freeze, and then it came back out and snowed again, and then rained again, so it's, you get ice buildup, and it's tough to deal with. So, but I think the roads, all in all, are in pretty decent shape, and the equipment's all holding up so far, so.
All right, let's move on to some other stuff we've got for you. Where's the sign?
The sign should be here. I'll get an update tomorrow. We've got pictures of it. It's in production. And,
Well, it's built, they're
It's
just
pretty
waiting
much
for the
metal.
2 pieces of metal.
Yeah.
Which basically are holding everything up, but the sign itself
is
has
built.
been fabricated.
Okay,
They've sent us pictures, it actually exists.
I can understand that, but back to the question. Any idea when it's gonna be here? Or?
I don't, but I
No, we can
suspect
tell
it'll be
people we
the
don't
first of the
know.
week.
We don't know.
We don't know, but I suspect the first of the week
Do you
because
think it's gonna be that quick?
I'm hoping because I've already been in communication with their installer because they're gonna need our assistance in a piece of our
Okay.
equipment. So, we've got that ready.
Something this year.
Okay. All right. And we're on budget with the sign and all that. They haven't called and said that,
We have not
that-
completely
that-
doubled it.
what?
We have not completely doubled it. No, we're within budget.
They had to leave the W off here.
Exactly. Welcome to Otterville.
Right,
Okay, it's just been a lot of people are asking.
No,
yeah,
it's-
I can understand people are
Right.
anticipating
Right.
and showing up quick.
And we discussed the dam, the guys are still working along, they're gonna be,
Guys are still working along the updated schedule I have right now is they poured the retaining wall today. They've set piers for the stairways, for the stairway. They are down to subgrade on the north side of the dam or the town square side of the dam for placement of materials to receive the blocks, the ACVs. First set of ACBs will arrive tomorrow and they'll be staged over in a back piece of the parking lot across from the ice arena. And then the rest of the ACBs are scheduled to be here on Tuesday, and they will be stowed over on the beach side, and that's on the south side of the dam. They anticipate, as of today, that they should be able to start installing town square side ACBs Tuesday or Wednesday.
Really?
And the state's happy.
And the state is happy.
Are we saving money?
I have not been informed or told of any extras, cost overruns, or anything to this point. There have no, I'm not aware of any change orders, because they would come across either myself and Mark. So,
The only thing that we've seen is the engineer has requested the contractor to reduce his numbers for the fencing. There were a couple of
Right.
issues with the fencing, and they used less fencing
Okay.
than was in the contract, so we actually should have a reduction.
I'm sure it'll wind up being spent somewhere
It
else.
will, it will probably be used somewhere else.
Use less fence, but it's a better fence.
Yeah, no.
All right, great. That's good news all around. And we've got the road engineering work.
The pre-design work, Jim and I just had a conversation yesterday with the engineer, and they're coming up to see us on Tuesday afternoon at 3, and we're gonna be talking to them. They haven't found anything structurally in the road that causes concern. Their only problem that they're having right now is the survey work. The deeds with the condo associations along Tecumseh Road are very unclear, the wording of the deeds. So he's bringing the surveyors so that we can have a discussion about how to address that. But right now, he can't do a current conditions because he can't identify all of the boundaries for the right of way. But we'll work on that. It's not a big deal. We can utilize a quick claim deed and get the condo associations to sign off on it, because the road is there and it's not going anywhere. So it's just difficult for the surveyor to complete his work.
I'm lost. Is this about putting in a sidewalk? on
It's
Dickinson?
expanding the road, making it
Expanding the
wider.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the issues that come up is the road has been there for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
We have the right to claim an easement by adverse possession. But if there is something that precedes it and states a right of way or something like that, we can't.
Oh.
So it means if there was nothing written, we could say we have the right to use it.
Mhm.
But if something's written, that might supersede our thing. We have the right to use it. All right, excellent. So we're moving quite along, and let's talk about the water system inspection results.
Yeah, the sanitary, it's called a sanitary survey, sanitary inspection. It's done either every year or every other year, depending on staffing at the DES. It's been 3 years since we had our last one, so they almost made it. But they came in September, or actually came in August, and end of August, or, no, I'm sorry, September 7th. Walk through with Rob. The summary is there on the first page, like I wrote in the memo. There are no significant deficiencies that they identified during the inspection, which is good. They did give us those 6 things that they would like us to address.
You get a chance to read this?
Yep.
Margaret, you get a chance to read it? Okay, why don't we go through the 6
Okay.
and just see what we can all understand.
Increase both source water and stored water protection, and that is basically putting a fence or some other control measures around the pump houses and around well 3, which we're already doing well 3. And also to secure with a fence or somehow with some kind of grate or something, the covers on the reservoirs on Snows Mountain
And also the vent pipes.
and the vent pipes.
I
So-
understand the reservoir, I understand the vent pipes, I understand well number 3, because it's right out in the open.
Yeah.
The other 2 things have concrete buildings around them. Why do we need fences around the concrete buildings?
Because there's basically, you can you can kick the door in and you are at our well. If there's one level of control to those facilities. So somebody picks a lock or someone kicks the door in, they have direct access to well 2 and the chemical feed pumps, and the same thing with well building 4. They have access to the clear well, which is 22,000 gallons of water, and they have access to all of our chemical feed pumps. So they're asking us to secure those buildings more.
But a fence doesn't do that. A fence just gives something called climb over and kick in the door.
Well, yeah, it's another barrier. It could be a great, some kind of additional secured door. But they want some additional protection in the buildings, is what they're asking
Well,
us.
let's see, come up with some ideas
Yep.
and see what's
Yeah.
acceptable. I understand the storage tanks on snow, we've discussed that for a while. All right, connect safety alarms at well 4 treatment building to the SCADA system.
Right.
What do you mean by safety alarm?
There are, again, the chemical feed pumps, whether or not the lift pumps are working.
Don't we have all that? I thought that was all
They're
part of
all
our.
within the building, but they are not connected to the SCADA system.
Oh, I thought that was all, that if something went wrong, whoever was on call got a message that something is out of balance.
For everything except well building 4, we do have that,
Well, building 4, we just built it.
yes.
I thought that's the one that had all this stuff.
No. It has all of the control measures, but none of those measures are connected to the SCADA
Yeah, I thought-
system because the SCADA system is in well building 2. And there were no connections made between the 2 buildings. So we have a standalone control system within well building 4, but it is not part of SCADA.
What does SCADA mean?
It is the supervisory control and direction. I don't know. what
Automatic.
Automated, yeah.
Am I backwards with this? Didn't I think that well 4 was the one that had all the high-tech bells and whistles? So we had the opportunity to build this thing, so we built it state of the art.
And everything in the building is state of the art. All of those controls, but they have to be manually operated.
See, okay.
They are
I thought
not,
we had
they're not
everything
connected
we
to
could
the
get.
computer.
Well,
They're not
I thought there was,
connected to the
am I kind of right with that, Mark?
No, I'm surprised.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me. I thought we
I
had
mean,
done.
I don't ever recall having a conversation about SCADA, but I certainly thought that we had a system that
that
notified.
they knew if
people
anything was out of
something
balance.
wrong.
But
Yeah.
let's figure out what it costs to get it done.
Yeah.
We're also, so if we go back to, upgrade the well 2 station or connect to well 4, that's one of the things we talked about. Now, if we do, move well 2 and connect it to well 4, will that automatically bring the SCADA system in? Is that
We will,
a reduced
we will
cost to
take
do
the
that?
SCADA, yes, we will take all the SCADA controls that are in well building 2 and we will move them over to 4 and both will be connected.
Is that a significant savings or a minor savings?
It's probably a minor savings.
Yeah,
at this
I
point.
think a lot of the design of well building 4 was in anticipation of 2 and 3 going into well building 4.
And then we can control all of it.
All right,
So we'll get those numbers, Mike, as part of it.
okay. Work with customers to maintain recommended pressures.
Well, we have with the significant height difference between the reservoirs and an area like down here. And all along.
Is that why they're
Valley
having
Road.
problems up on Cascade Ridge and Moose Crossing
Well,
pressures or?
That's why the
That's-
booster pump
That's why
house
the
is up there.
booster pump house is there, but he's more worried about the low elevation
Having too much
properties
pressure?
having too much pressure. And if you read what he wrote in here, I mean, we have some stations that could have up to 120 PSI.
Right over here.
So we need to make sure that all of the low elevation customers have pressure reducers when they start getting above the, I think it's 60.
60, 70.
So
And most all places do have.
How big a deal is that?
it can ruin.
No, I know the pressure, if the
The
system
pressure
goes
is-
up.
It would be on their side of the meter, so
Yeah.
it would be up to the individuals to make sure. I mean, and during,
When you say their side of the meters, you mean the individual homeowner or building owner?
That's correct.
yeah,
So
now,
we were putting the onus on the building owner to put a pressure release system in their house?
it would behoove them to do so, or to make sure that the one that is existing is operating properly.
Now, do we know where these systems are and who has them and who doesn't have them?
Yes, we have a list of pressure.
should have a
reducing
list.
valves
List.
in town.
I don't know, there are a lot,
And the last time, I think there were 50 some odd.
and are they expensive?
I don't know, I'd have to ask Rob. how
But
much
the
they are.
install is more.
The install,
expensive.
I think, is more.
Are we gonna go to someone and go, oh, and by the way, your pressure's too high, it's up to you, you're gonna have to spend $4,000?
No,
No, these people, they have the pressure reduced in, for the most part, they have the pressure reducers if they need them. Okay, it's maintaining them. And we have a contact list, and Rob has been reaching out to people to make sure that they keep that on their radar as the homeowner, to make sure that those systems stay operating correctly.
Right.
The state just wanted us, because we do have these in town, wanted to make sure that we were communicating with the property owners.
Okay, this is the first I've heard of this.
It's been I mean,
How's your pressure, Margaret? Because you're in a lower area.
No, actually, I'm up from the creek.
Are you? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I'm at the high point in that hill.
And you're up high, how's your water pressure?
Fine.
and we don't have, other than a few houses above the booster pump house on
Bean Bender.
Bean Bender, we don't have low pressure problems. We have to worry about those people that are on the valley floor that have a several 100-foot elevation. So,
All right. Develop a local ordinance that the WVWD can use to.
that's the wording that we talked about when we were in the drought conditions.
Right.
They would like us to adopt language similar to that while we're not in drought conditions,
So we have.
so
it
that
when
we
need
have
it.
it if we need it. So we need to probably revisit that after town meeting
Okay.
and talk about that this
All right.
spring, but they are recommending to do that.
You get an asset management program for access to greater budgeting tools and increasing knowledge service to customer.
Yeah, there's a computer program that is specific to water departments for asset management, including all of water lines, pumps and valves and everything else. We don't use it. We have the CIP.
How much is it?
Well, it's not, it's free.
Yeah, but you have
The
to pay for it
government
every
gives it to
year. to have it
But
updated.
no, we would have to go back and get somebody to come in and help us actually do the initial
The input of the
input.
information.
Because we haven't used the system ever. I mean, I've gone in and looked at it. It is a huge undertaking to go in and enter in every foot of
I
pipe
get.
and that kind of thing, so.
Right.
That's a nice to do thing.
Any thoughts, questions, or comments, Margaret?
No.
How about you, David? All right, so our next step with this is to tell them we're working on some of these ideas.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Is does the CIP have anything in it about connecting 2 and 4?
No.
When is that in the CIP?
It's not right now.
It's not
I
right.
think we have.
I mean, I knew we were taking a break from finishing up with the well 4 project, but I thought that it's something.
We're going to talk about.
Well,
a new way.
the engineering amount was funded this year so that we could do the engineering to connect 3, well, actually both 2 and 3, to the treatment building. But we've held off on starting any of that work
While we find
While
out
we
what's going
find out
on.
what's
What was going on with 3?
Okay.
there was one other thing that was mentioned in here, and that is the erosion that is occurring along the access, basically the Mad River path, the access road to well 3. And I don't know exactly how to handle that, because we would obviously address that as part of the connection, because that would be where the pipe would go to do the connection. But if we're going to be another couple of years down the road, we need to get a contractor in there. I would say sooner rather than later, because a couple more springs and we're gonna have an island instead of a peninsula. And that's not gonna be a. So we're down, how far would you say?
About halfway into well 3, it greatly reduces. West Branch is trying to get over to the Mad River, about halfway in. And it's significant. I mean, there's a lot of trees that are falling. Margaret, I know you walk out there quite a bit. There's a lot of stuff happening on that bank.
Problem is, a lot of this work would have to happen in the stream bed, or even taking trees that are blown down out of the national forest, and, so we're gonna have some coordination with them. But it is something that we may have to put money into the budget too.
Right. Can we get some kind of graphics defining this to people so that people know what we're talking about?
Okay,
Because I think that this is going to be a major undertaking, and it's
Yeah.
going to be complex, so it'd be good to start getting people to think about where it is when they're walking in that area, and they can maybe start looking
Mhm.
to see. All right. Are we doing, you all set with that, Rick, Margaret? All right, board concerns and directives. Margaret?
The holes on the West Branch Bridge are gonna remain there for the winter.
I have to order some more, we've run out of our
Because I
patch.
think this was the Forest Service running over it, right, with their equipment?
On the Forest Service Bridge, yeah.
Yeah.
So that has been noted. So have to get another pallet of stuff.
Will it do any good?
It'll hold for a while.
For a while, it
Yeah.
holds. Yeah.
Yeah, this new stuff is pretty good.
Like this? I've got one that I want to follow up on.
Mhm.
It was, I was to look back at our residency list, to get a list of people who voted and used an out-of-state or a non-Waterville ID.
okay, I don't know, I don't know if Sharon had a chance to talk
Yeah,
to.
no, I'm
supervisors.
following up
Yeah,
on it because I don't want to forget
yeah,
about it.
supervisors.
And so we'll move to correspondence. We have this letter from FEMA. Did you guys get the letter from FEMA?
I did, yeah.
And Chris, you saw this, both of you guys saw this letter from FEMA? Will you translate it for us?
The best I can figure is they're coming around to the area to do some assessments and some mapping and some updates, and they're asking the town if there's anything that we want them to look at.
Well, would you think this issue with, what we just spoke about with the West Branch on the water supply being endangered by, this erosion?
It's an interesting thing. I didn't think of that, but certainly I think, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think if.
I think Mark interpreted the letter better than any of us,
Oh, okay.
so.
Yeah.
I see FEMA, and I think you do now.
Floodplain, it all goes back to the flood maps. So they are asking us, are there any areas where you think that the flood zone should be increased because it floods regularly and we need to get homeowners so that they can get the federal flood insurance? Or are there areas that do not flood that are in the flood zone, so people are unnecessarily paying for insurance? So first thing, and then the other issue is, are there any places where you don't have a flood zone that you think you should have a flood zone?
Now, is this
So-
specifically for residential and commercial property?
Well,
Properties
it's
that are
flood zone,
inhabited.
it's flood zone A, so
Yeah.
yes, it's the
Okay.
residential. But we also were talking, there's no flood zone along the Mad River, along Route 49. And so there are no areas along where if the hydrology showed that we would be able to identify as Route 49 would be in danger
Yeah.
of being flooded
Well, it
in
has.
isolation.
It has been.
Well, it has been, but
It has
specifically,
been, the hydrologist from the Forest Service actually said that you can build put all the riprap and everything you want, and it's still gonna go where it wants to
Yeah.
go. So, yeah, like Mark says, if we can identify those areas, we may be able to put pressure on the state of the Forest Service
Yeah.
to
to do
relocate the
Are you
road.
planning on attending this, Mark?
Yeah, and I was just wondering, from a residential, like Mike, you have a lot more contact with people trying to sell units or whatever.
No,
We updated
our-
our flood maps. a
Our
while
biggest flooding issue is water heaters.
ago. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know of anyone's house who gets flooded where, I can't think of anyone's house gets flooded.
Joe Highland, but that's on
Yeah, you've got a high water table, and I think maybe the Britons or the Sullivans, is not real high here, but that area by the Sullivans.
Yeah.
but,
That's similar, it's the same area we're talking about for,
Where the
Yeah.
West
Yeah.
Branch is trying to take over.
Yeah, that's the only area I think we've got. Anything else is
Is
related?
all of Waterville Valley considered to be in a floodplain?
No?
it's just a pretty narrow corridor along the Mad River.
Mountain Brook.
And Mountain Brook condos,
But that's still those.
no, I agree, but they
they
identified
they
that.
identify.
Oh, it was actually Sunnyside we had the problem, or Snowsbrook we had the problem.
Snowsbrook and Mountain.
Mountain Brook, and then, of course, the well three area, that whole
Yeah.
peninsula is in the flood zone. But up for the most part, all the houses are outside.
I think isn't all that rec land?
Yeah, it's like
Most
that's
of
flood
it's
zone.
rec land, yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll go to the meeting and find out what they have in the report.
And the only other place I can think of would be at the town line down by 6 Mile, both sides of the river there.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, it's not, it's not occupied.
All right,
Okay,
anything else in correspondence?
nope, that's all I have.
Well, I think, since no one has shown up for the first privilege of the floor, we'll go to the second privilege of the floor, and we'll move on to, going into non-public session. So can I get a motion to go into non-public, please?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You will do that. Chris, do you want to stick around for a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Thank you,
Good
Gary.
night, thanks.
I shut everything down, right?
Yeah.
Yes.